We the small boy best and say why you lost and now we so now you no lost. When the boy talks something about them, they will say yeah, been here, the what the boy we talk the small boy talks to him for please say they play too much. In both go sport when you go get money buy. We scenario don't make emotional. We tell us why they play. We tell us say hey, mommy they wear 2 shirts. Poppy should not get those students in the work. So one play football, come on, then get them out of the tuition. Then when somebody scream, Cristiano, where the small boy go, then he Poppy. So Poppy hold the small boy, and the small boy will do that. But when you watch senior Ronaldo, way they watch Ronaldo in face, we try to watch him, not hey, we push up.
You reach.
But they never self go like that.
Yeah, the Ronaldo one, Haaland sub go like.
Haaland like
Erling go,
Instagram.
Erling go.
Instagram.
Hey, they IG.
The Neymar one, the
Make a
the
share
baby,
to you,
see
right?
the baby Neymar where they play the futsal. No?
Yeah.
He did it, and the Santos Neymar plus the hair.
Mm.
Where they talk to the Santos Neymar, where some other Neymar become the PSG Neymar come.
Yeah.
When they talk to the way. No, this new Neymar with the dyed hair.
The dyed
this
hair.
fresh
The current
kind
one.
one. So he can't wait. They ask him, do we make it? Say yeah. What about the World Cup? We won't win the World Cup. So I tried my best. We did everything, but
Yeah.
unfortunately we couldn't do
I'm
it.
fat.
Then some cup we can pass. We saw Neymar come in the whole World Cup.
World Cup.
We
no,
turn we watch and say,
It was
should we do one more
one
time?
more time.
They say yeah.
Hey, the whole account.
We never go like the
2030.
Never for go again. What's that? Ronaldo say for go again.
Charlie takes me. You said make ready.
We don't.
Okay.
Yeah, make emotional pass.
Like,
No, but that is going to be hard. Hello, guys. We are live. We are on. We are live, guys. Thank you. Thank you very much. Share the link. Tell all your friends that we are live. And we are on to review the semi-final games and to preview what we now have as the final itself. So that is our show today. Thank you all for joining. I've seen that most of you joined and we're already sharing comments in there. Let me see some of the comments that have come through on the live feed already. Okay. So 12, 3, 4, 5. Hey, Charlie, your name be hard though. 12, 3, 4, 5. What? Then Elvis Amponsa says first here. Agent Sky Ghana says first. Elisha says first. How many firsts? All of you are first. Then Elvis says Argentina will win the final by 2-1. We are live. Says others. Guys, we've missed you guys. Thank you so much for always being choosing us as your number one. And this one says we need transfer talks. We'll do all the transfer talks after the World Cup. Already some teams are moving very smart. We see Man United, we move for you, Telemans, Andre Santos. We hear there's going to be another one coming through as well. So yeah, plenty. So this guy says, come and see me experiencing this great stream on my Samsung TV. It be hard.
I love that.
Full quality. Yeah. So yeah, this one says fully loaded. That because Yankee says fully loaded. And yeah, so we're gonna have all the fun. We're gonna have all the conversation about the 2 games we saw in the semi-final, and then build it up to what is coming up in the final. This won't be a long podcast. We'll do it up to say top of the hour 6, and then we'll be out there. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, thank you all for the energy. So this one says this is the worst time to be a Madrid fan. This one says CRB baby goats like Yamal. This says
Soon, I see that. I'll cry. I'll tell Oh God!
Oh, I go send the one with them in the other.
I love this guy. Paul. Oh
It's
God!
been crazy. Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, guys, there's reports that Otuado
Carlos.
And Mbappe said go like 20 see Mbappe go see Mbappe.
yeah, Kylian.
Sonny. Oh, tell this guy.
But one be today, the Mbappe and Ellen we Ellen say make Mbappe go talk to your man. Your man is in the bench. Don't want to be emotional. Don't want to find that one to say. Well, guys, there's news that CQ might get 2 years extension, and then 2 years means the next 2 AFCONs literally, because 2027 we have an AFCON. The qualifier starts this year.
September.
Then November, then March we completed. We're in that qualifying group with the Gambia, Somalia, Cote d'Ivoire.
Yeah.
And so we got 2 years. And that means that 2028 AFCON too. Because we're going to get it after what? August?
Yeah.
If it's after August and 2028 AFCON is also slated for June, July, it means you have a coach for the next 2 AFCONs. I don't know what you make of it. Did he show enough to prove that it could be the one we trust with this 2 major competitions?
I'll start with the timing of it. There was no time. There was no time to now form a committee to review the technical reports from the World Cup. Then, based on that, decide to go and headhunt or form a new committee, go and convince governments about budgets. All of those long processes, there was no time for any of that. So we essentially were stuck with Carlos Queiroz. Fortunately for us, he showed signs in the 5 weeks that he's been with the team. And I think he walks into this job better prepared than any Black Stars coach at the time they were named the substantive head coach.
How so?
In the sense that he has had 5 weeks with the team.
He's the tournament, then we know
yes. So he's had 2 weeks of training, 3 weeks in the main tournament itself. He has real scenario experience with the GFA. He knows who to go to when he wants things to get done. He knows, or he has a fair idea of what Ghanaians expect of him and what Ghanaians expect of their national team. In terms of even the players, he is now walking into the job, or will be walking into the job, all other things being equal, with a fair knowledge of how they behave, especially the 26 that he picked. So in terms of who pretends to be a leader, which characters are actually leaders,
the Fieros,
who can be disruptive to team culture, who is reserved, who takes criticisms well. In terms of the tactical aspects, when he wants to make in-game changes, which players on the pitch can be an extension of his authority to help quickly implement that? Which players take forever to take in information? And so if he's drafting his game plan and is thinking about real game scenarios and making changes, which of those players can he plan with and all of that? The last time he spoke about how some players should have been a bit bolder in decisions that they were taking in the game against Colombia. For the next AFCON game, he's going into that game, or the qualifier, he's going into that game knowing which of those players not to put in that scenario again. So to that extent, I say he's walking into this better prepared than, because every other substantive Black Stars coach was appointed at a time they had not. In fact, Chris Hughton and Otuado will be the exceptions to that. But apart from that, this is, in fact, even for Chris Hughton, he was not directly in charge, technical advisor. Otto will be the other guy who had 2 playoffs and even a longer spell.
And Otto's wasn't necessarily immediate appointment after the tournament.
Yeah,
he had to go away for Chris to have his turn, and then
later come back.
It wasn't a continuation.
This is direct trust.
Yeah.
So it has its benefits. What I would say is this. Is this what Ghanaians need? Yes.
People have said,
is it the most convenient or ideal manager given our philosophy and the players we have?
What's that philosophy?
I would say no.
You put always the toxic.
I'll come to that.
We don't get anything.
So let me explain that. If you look at the players we have, I think the average Ghanaian wants the team to be very positive, front foot, and be adventurous when we have the ball. And that fits into who we think should be playing.
Yeah.
And so one of the reasons people aren't happy when Jordan plays the way he does is that they think he's not direct enough.
He doesn't allow it to be fluid enough.
Yes. So that is the way the Ghanaian thinks. And that is why when we went to the World Cup, one of the questions we would ask the coach is, why isn't Augustin Boachi playing more? Why isn't Thomas Asante playing more?
That's why we like Wakasu. We don't like Elisha. We don't like Sibo, because Wakasu, energy, passion. He will go quickly. Whether the pass is a wrong pass or not, he has played it. And he played
the ball is going forward. Finding someone.
With the chat way you did your phone top.
So
with the chat, we or the chat. The podcast. Why?
The vibe they have.
Fio.
So I think there will be a trade-off.
Make a pause. I just see some video. That who are they read the comments and they die.
The video that
They didn't enjoy that. I feel like they didn't play for
Yeah,
Nanya
Nanya
Park.
Park,
Way.
yeah.
They didn't do
They did
some
11.
jail way. He take each one away. Jordan for the 6-yard box. He takes on touch with the ball go kick way. Somebody say, Jordan even here too.
You know, I see. Big shouts to official meat pie. Official meat pie always did that place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Always the post. Every time I go official meat pie and pay top, they watch those videos because he always there around the boys.
if they didn't guy,
I think they use them
yeah,
again.
they try.
Yeah. Okay, last time I see him, the first time and last time I see him actually in person, then be Alisa. I go do some program. I think the Black Stars Day. Then in Jordan, there's the tree and up on the car plant. That
Because
boy,
I've
he
noticed-
can't introduce somebody to me. Say,
Oh, okay.
he be the official meat pie. Very cool guy. I like him.
I've noticed even for events that you would say this is exclusive access, nobody comes. He's the one following.
I be as Captain General they go the ladies the man.
Yeah. The black.
way follow.
Yeah, you try.
They do great. So sometimes they go in pages they watch. So one be with
You
them
dey try.
pass Joe Ball, Jordan Ball way. Charlie Spence your man in front where he pull you to lock the guy. I say, Jordan.
Yeah, too.
Yeah, they can't read fouls. So.
Yeah, too.
but he turned the guy where he put some good cross in. Yeah.
Charlie. Yeah, too. But yeah, official meets by they try. So there will be a trade-off.
Yeah.
I think if you want to see a front foot Black Stars team that attacks teams, you will not see that all the time. If you want to be entertained, Carlos Queiroz, I don't think will give you that.
Mm.
We also have to be prepared for the possibility that some of the players who excite us may not get as many minutes as we thought.
Or don't get the freedom to express themselves
Some may not even play at all.
at all. Right.
I think Thomas Asante, what Carlos Queiroz said about him at the World Cup, that he played only when it was necessary, I thought was quite instructive. Because I looked at the options that we sent to the World Cup, and after the performance against Panama,
Can production check the sound for us, please? We're getting feedback in comments that
Yeah.
guys, your sound no good. I'm not sure if it is better now, but can production please check sound for us and let's work on the question live show. There are two people who have said the sound is not good. Someone says the sound is down,
hello.
and
sound
somebody
is
said Baba.
or is it my
somebody
microphone? Is it my microphone?
Someone said CR7 is still the good. We Messi be
Say it's okay now.
Is it okay now?
Is that okay? All right.
Okay, so thank you, Alex Ajiman, for the feedback. He says it's okay now.
Okay.
And also thank you to Bajo6900. That was your prompt. So thank you guys. Yeah.
Okay.
Keep the updates, keep the feedbacks coming. Thank you.
So apart from the style that will not always entertain you,
Yeah.
I think some of the players that will excite you may not get minutes because Carlos Queiroz. You see how Iñaki became prominent again at this World Cup.
Yeah.
He will pick players based on who can do a job for him, and not necessarily the best attacking group and how they work together, because he is result first, result oriented. What that means is that some of our best attacking talent may be sacrificed, especially when Kudus returns. The queue then becomes longer for some of those players who did not even get a looking into this group. Even in terms of the central midfielders, it is not because he doesn't appreciate someone like Ashimeru Majid, but those players, by virtue of their profile and the way they play, pose certain risks that he may not be prepared to accommodate within his setup. And so he would go with the midfielder who keeps it simple and leaves the risk aspect to those who play in the final third of the
But
pitch.
at the AFCON, did he at the World Cup, I should say, did he not misuse or wrongly use players like Elisha,
Owusu.
Owusu, and Sibo?
Especially against Colo, because they just didn't have the skill
when
set
you want to
for
play them as the 2 number 8 ahead of Thomas.
yes.
I would rather have rigged Augustine Boacho unless we saw something in training that completely threw him off.
Uh-huh.
It didn't look like they were suited
So,
for it.
so there
And
is
if he
that.
wanted to play that way, maybe Ashmeru would have
Yeah.
been an option.
There is that, but I'm saying the reason he did that was because the other players who would have played in that position, one, by their nature, will take certain risks that his setup does not accommodate. Maybe going forward, now he will trust them a bit more and play some of them. But this is just what I think, that anything that requires him making significant alterations to what he identifies to be compact units and balance, I don't think he would accept
Okay,
it.
let me
However, it is a trade-off I'm prepared to take because
Okay.
where we are now, and indulge me for maybe 2 minutes,
go on.
we are not in the position to be making demands of a style and how the team wins. The only thing we should be asking from the Black Stars is win by whatever means possible and get used to winning again. Because for the longest time, we have not been competitive. The win against Panama was only our third win out of the last 17 matches at major competitions across 7 years. The win against Guinea-Bissau in 2019. Before that, we drew with Cameroon and then we drew with Benin. We won one game. Round of 16, we lost to Tunisia.
No, but we won against Korea.
But that's part of it.
So you said what, 3 games?
Yeah, 3 wins.
3 wins.
Out of
at
17 matches
17 tournaments.
in the last 7 years. 3 wins. 3 wins. Then, so AFCON 2019, 1 win in 4. World Cup, AFCON 2021, no win at all. So Morocco beat us, Comoros beat us, and then we drew with Gabon. Then we went to the World Cup, we beat South Korea.
The genesis of We Are Ghana.
We Are Ghana. The We Are Ghana was before Comoros. The press conference before
after Gabon.
Yeah, after Gabon.
Immediately after Gabon.
After Gabon.
That result was
We Are Ghana.
We Are Ghana. We will beat Comoros and we'll qualify.
Then we go to the World Cup. Portugal, Uruguay beat us. We beat South Korea.
Yeah.
The next AFCON, we lose to Cape Verde.
Yeah, we draw against Egypt.
We draw against Egypt and we draw against Mozambique. So this win against Panama.
And against Egypt, what? We were 2 goals up. Mozambique.
We took the lead, then they restored parity. Then Kudu scored again.
Yeah.
Then Osman Bukhari.
Why you need to say Inaki first for the parity?
Yeah, Inaki first, yes.
I mean, like
no, it's a Bukhari one that registers.
Inaki will go play back pass. Abukari, they drop the ball
but
backwards.
You know why? Thank you. That's why the Bukhari one still sticks in my mind.
You own.
It was a back pass.
Where Mamusi.
Bukhari drove the ball to it.
We on the goal. Inaki came around where he passed the ball back.
Why you mention Bukhari? But Bukhari only ran the ball 2.5.
That's why they stick in my mind. So that is our record in major tournaments. The next AFCON, we did not even qualify. Even the last 2 years, when we thought, the AFCON qualifiers where we failed to win any game. No win in 6. And we got beat. We were the equipping boys. We got beaten by everything. Niger, Angola, Sudan. All of them beat us.
Making it worse, Angola and Niger beat us here.
Yes, in Accra. And we lost both of our home records. Accra and Kumasi. Angola and Kumasi. When we thought that cycle was over in the World Cup qualifiers, we were winning every game. Against Chad, the remnants of that malaise showed itself again.
Against Chad, which one?
Against Chad, World Cup qualifiers. We went away and we drew. So this is a team that is not used to winning consistently.
Basis, yeah.
I'm saying that the football may not be nice, but at this point, what I think every Ghanaian should demand of the Black Stars and Carlos Queiroz is that make us difficult to beat. Make us win games on a consistent basis. There will be 6 games in the AFCON qualifiers. If you win 4, you've qualified. So if we get 4 wins out of 6, maybe draw 1 and lose the other and qualify. There are going to be about, if we do well at the AFCON, it means we would have played about 5 or 6 games and would have won around 4, maybe drawn 1 and lost 1 in the group stage. That is a significant departure from our recent record of 4 wins out of 6 in the World Cup qualifiers and 0 wins out of 6 in the AFCON qualifiers. So those are the things I think our focus should be on. So while I admit that he does not scream progressive or the brand of football that people fantasize about and want to watch, we need to be humble and accept the fact that we have not been competitive on the continent for a long time. I don't want a team that entertains but goes to the AFCON and performs like our last 4 AFCONs, 2019, 2021, 2023, and then the no-show at the last one. I want a team that goes there, that is difficult to beat. And you see, before we learn how to run, we must first crawl and walk. The Black Stars, as it is, we don't have a team. Don't be fooled by what we did at the World Cup. The man you took there is a specialist for knockout kind of football. Compact, short-termism, let's get the results. That's his bread and butter. It doesn't mean that he has suddenly built a team for you. Again, there were a lot of things he got right because what he took there was a depleted team. Our starting centre-back pairing not available through injury. He had to introduce a whole new right back, Marvin Sanaya. Even in midfield, how many minutes had Partey played before this tournament? Further up the pitch, there was no Kudus. So it was a team that literally did not have a spine that he had to make so many changes for.
Right.
And those results have sort of covered or papered over the cracks in the Black Stars. We don't have a team yet. Let's be patient for now. Relegate the talk about nice football and philosophy and identity and positivity to the background. Demand from him winning. For that, let's not compromise on. In fact, I have heard from some quarters that he has been told the target is to win the AFCON. I like it. Because what it means is that you are aiming for it. Worst case scenario, you get a quarterfinal or a semi-final finish. That's an improvement on our performances in the last 7 years. Really, if we make the quarterfinal at the next AFCON, and it is not a limp or disgraceful performance, I don't think anyone in their right senses...
I'm sure it will be significant improvement.
Yes.
Danny, what do you make of Carlos if he has to stay? Did he do enough for you in the World Cup to get the nod to almost certainly take us to the next 2 AFCONs?
Yeah, I like him. We need a sustained run of positive performances to bring back belief before you can even start your whatever style of football that you want. Me, I'm win first, and it's about functionality. Do what you have to do to win. If it's effective, I like it. And I think in the 4 games that we played, I'll say 3 of them gave me a lot of encouragement. Of course, I didn't expect the performances to get better as the games went by, because that's not how, when you're a new manager, you come in, you don't have enough time to build. Obviously, it will go like this. But especially for the Panama and the England game, I saw some clear direction. In fact, Wales, Panama, England, I saw clear direction. And look, at this point, with how dysfunctional our team is, this is a sort of experience you need to take you forward.
Yeah.
You qualify for the AFCON, get out of the group stage at the AFCON, and then take a game by game. So for me, when I look at our performance and I look at the performances of the other African teams, it gives me a lot of encouragement. If we're able to get to that AFCON, and that's how low we sang, where I think that if we're able to qualify for the AFCON.
That's tough.
But we'll qualify for the AFCON, you get there, and I'm happy that this World Cup run will give us to boost our ranking.
Yeah. We were able to get the tournament. I think during the tournament we moved some places up after the Panama win.
Yeah. So I'm looking at him continuing to build what he started at the World Cup. And look, I've seen a lot of verdicts about his style. I think when I read anything negative, it's just unfair. I don't think people understand what they are talking about, because it's not just carrying a group of players and because you see them on the paper on paper and what they do at the okay, he should have done. It doesn't work like that. There are certain things you need to do to build a team, and we've not done that, and it's put every head coach who takes over the Black Stars as a disadvantaged position. So what Carlos Queiroz was able to do, I think, is very commendable. Again, I just want to win. So if we're able to get a nice sustained run of results in the qualifiers, it will boost our rankings going into the AFCON draw. You get a good group, get out of the group. And when it's knockout football on the African continent, look, again, even at the world stage, Carlos Queiroz was able to show that he can put a group together for them to do a job. So at the AFCON, I'm confident that at least we can get back to the quarterfinals at the AFCON. And if you get a good draw, there's no reason why you cannot even go any further. And again, the belief will come by winning. So you never know. If you're able to put in a very good run during the qualifiers, it gives the players a lot of confidence going into the main competition. And it could be different. And again, he is still getting to know some players in the team. So the more he works with these players, I think the better we see them perform, the more he mixes it up in terms of players that he's using.
And if after the World Cup, he would have known areas in the team that he needs. You need a couple of players to come in and improve. Maybe he thought he lacked certain players or profiles. he's got the opportunity of fixing it.
And then also the AFCON qualifiers, it provides the perfect platform for him to take some certain risks. The quality of teams you play at the qualifiers is not the same as what you see at the World Cup.
Does it worry you that we are playing Somalia, Gambia, and Cote d'Ivoire? Maybe Cote d'Ivoire, but what about Gambia? Would they be tricky? Somalia?
No, it doesn't worry me. I'm look, knowing coaches like him who are very stubborn to their philosophy,
Yeah.
it doesn't surprise me he didn't use certain players. He will call them, but it will take a lot for
He
him
won't
to
depend
use
on them.
exactly,
Mm.
and it will take a lot to push him to even use certain players. So, in as much as on paper, we would have hoped that this person would have been brought in. If you know the man, you'll not be too surprised. And I'm saying that if you go to the AFCON qualifiers, I think it's 6 games overall.
Mhm.
We play certain fixtures would allow him to maybe soften his stance on some of these players and allow them to play, and their performances may give him reason to keep them in the team. So it's a perfect opportunity for him. Go through the qualifiers, let's qualify, let him try a number of these players and go into the next competition. Maybe we'll see some of the fringe players who did well become more permanent stays, like the Thomas Asantes, the Bunsuba, and the what's the guy's name? Augustin Boachi and Co. Because we know that these are profiles that we need. But again, it's just about, I'm happy that they've reached a point where they've seen that it's him or nobody else.
Yeah, we'll see how he does. For me, coach is on his way. I've heard coach in other places say that because of his style, he might not necessarily be. I mean, he's not the guy who would have gone for. But for me, we don't develop style at the Black Stars level. So when you want to rebuild your football, your national team's focus should just win anyhow. The main national team, develop your style through the youth teams.
Yeah.
So if you have any style whatsoever to develop, do it properly at U17, let them graduate to U20 while you U20 now begin to graduate into the national team. Then over a period, could be 6 years, 7 years, that becomes a style of the national team. But for the group of players you have now in the Semenyos, in the Kudus and everything, that is not a team they are using to build a style that you call your identity. Now they are way past that. This team needs to win by hook or crook. So get a manager who gives them the best opportunity to win by hook or crook. And that is what I want Ghanaians to understand. That when we go to the next tournament, it wouldn't be for this group how well we play. But if in the next 7 years the FAF puts in a good program and our U17s are playing a certain way, our U20s are playing a certain way, then we can, for example, when England opened St. George's Park in 2012, in 2014, the English national team was playing nothing like what they are used to 17 after the training on.
Yeah.
Even in 2016 at the Euros, they were in shambles.
Yeah.
But by 2018, 4 years on, because if you are 17, 4 years on, you are 21. If you are
It's a football
18,
cycle.
by 4 years on, you are what, 22. So by the time some of the good players from the system had graduated to 2018, we saw a couple of signs. Then it carried on to the next Euros, and now you see the caliber of play they are changing now in Rogers, the Foldings, the Morgan Gibbs Whites, Elliott. Like you see the players popping up, all the players popping up. So that is for me what it is. You can develop your system through your youth football, but in the national team, if the bottom is rotten, the national team now still has to find a way of winning games, and that for me is the reason why I think that I would back the appointment of Carlos Queiroz and wish him all the best as well. Anyway, now let's talk about the reason why we are here. Let's get into the World Cup and talk about the semi-finals. Well, were we here for the contest? Yes, we're here for the contest.
Yeah, last week.
Yeah, last week we spoke a lot about the contest. But the semi-final games produced 2 brilliant games. The first of which was between Spain and France. And ahead of the semi-final, France was, if you like, for many people, the team to beat because they were glamorous. You could see their Olise, Mbappe, and
the front four.
Yeah, the dynamic front four. But okay, this one says Messi's left toe is bigger than Lamine Yamal's career. Oh, chat. You really chat.
People can be mean, no.
Goftan Baby says I'm 30 minutes late, but still live. Yeah, as soon as the show is done, it will be uploaded, so you really have missed anything, guys. Yeah. All right, keep your thoughts coming and keep your comments coming. I'll be. Louise Emisa said Danny K still doesn't have his X account. Yeah, how far with that? What's that bit on that? Your followers, people have been asking me. I need somewhere. I need somebody for where? Bank or some. Where? Like last week inside, he asked me. I said, yeah, we do work on them hard.
They work on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait Twitter.
All right. So the feedback has been sent to Twitter. The report has been sent to Twitter. So we are waiting for Twitter to give us the response, which hopefully we'll recover it very soon. We need Danny back on Twitter. Anyway, so where do we start from? Let's start from the France and the Spain game. Yeah, obviously we'll talk about the England game as well, but let's start with that one. Going into the game, Spain had considered just one goal.
Yeah.
And that goal came in the game against Belgium. The Catalan scored that one header, brilliant one. Spain had not considered any goal apart from that one. France were even though Argentina scored one more goal better than them going into that period of game, France's attack was by far the most impressive on the eye in the competition. They didn't come to the party against Spain, but how did that happen?
It was a direct consequence of coaching, but also going up against a project that had peaked, and somehow they've managed to sustain its peak for now approaching the 4th year. And I'll come to that in a bit. But I say function of coaching because there was no way that 4-2-4 or its variation, be it 4-2-3-1 or whatever, was going to work against Spain. Deschamps has tried it on 2 previous occasions against Spain, same outcome. Nations League, Euros, got beaten in both games. And it's not because he didn't have the personnel to execute it. It is just, much in the same way that boxing is about styles, football is about styles. France were the best team in the tournament before that game against Spain. I'm absolutely convinced of it. But against Spain, they came up against a team against whom their style simply was not going to work because Spain were going to demand different things of them. And if you play their game, they will beat you to it because they are better at it. They've been practicing that for decades. And the group of players who were executing that game plan have been doing it together across different national teams. And I'll come to that in a bit. I felt the best way to approach this was to introduce a third midfielder.
So maybe Manu Kone, Rabiot, and Chouameni.
And then Aurelien Chouameni. Sacrifice one of your wide players. Maybe do it Bakula. And then keep Dembele, what's his name, Olise, and then Kylian Mbappe. What those 3 will give you is that they would help you at any phase neutralize or deal with the extra man Spain will always find it. So, and just cast your mind back to any phase of the game. If it was Unai Simon who was building from the back, if it was Roger receiving it on the edge of the penalty area, middle of the park, in France's own half, they always found the extra man because Spain were committing 2 of their forwards, Oyarzabal and then Olmo, to occupy the pockets in between the channels. So immediately they realized that there are 2 players here. They will come to form that triangle. Sometimes it will be 4 of them boxing 2 or 3 French players together, and they will just be playing the rondos, knocking the ball around them. And that thing is great for managing a game. So if you watch the game critically, Spain didn't create chances. They didn't have any more shots on target apart from the goals they scored. And they didn't need to because they started France off the ball and they short-circuited France for every attack that they attempted. So whenever France tried to press them, there is always Dani Olmo chipping in. There is always Alex Baena. And Baena was always very deep going with Jules Koundé. And I felt without the third midfielder to deal with that, there's no way France should have attempted to press. It was not going to work. In the first place, I think the World Cup period is too short a time for you to develop a mid-press like that in what they were trying to attempt. The best way to press Spain is the way Cape Verde and Belgium did it at this tournament. Cape Verde low block, Belgium mid block. They only press when you approach the third phase of play, where they realize that in those pockets, in zone 13 and zone 14, the area around the penalty box, the D, when they realize that you're approaching that space, 5-10 yards before that, because they've got the players to hit you, then they will press. Otherwise, the pressing is not active around the center of the pitch. So just let them have the ball. But immediately, they cross the D around the center circle, and the player with the ball starts scanning around to look for the options in those areas that I've mentioned. They pounce, they shadow mark, and they go tight. And I thought that if the French, at least even with a double, if they wanted to go with that double pivot, still retain your deep position and press them from a distance, because you simply did not have the players. And I don't think that 1 week or a few days would have been enough for you to perfect that pressing. You perhaps will be able to execute it, but by the time the 90 minutes is over, there will be that 1 or 2 moments of lapses that Spain would have punished you for it. And I felt that at halftime, that was the time to rejig it. Halftime was the opportunity for Deschamps to change it. So when he was bringing Manu Kone on, I thought, you know what, maybe it is tempting to take off Rabiot because of the yellow card.
Yeah, Rabiot got an early yellow
But
card. And
perhaps
he wasn't trading too cautious.
Perhaps you could have kept him, let him play quarterback, not active in the press, sit right in front of the defense, and Tchouaméni, Rabiot are the guys to press. If Tchouaméni is not in the condition to deal with the physical nature of the game, because they were being bullied, Rodri has a huge frame. Bring on Zaire Emery and let them do that job for you. Because I felt at halftime it was not working. Change it. So France will have the ball, and they had no real momentum. A few times that they had the ball and could attack Spain, each time they get the ball there, Mbappe was offside. In the first half, in the second half, it was the same. Now, there was a moment where Danny even drew my attention to that he was signaling that the ball shouldn't come, he was offside, but still the pass. It was because that is the game plan. And so they would try it time and time and again. It would fail, they would go again. It simply was not working. And so I feel this is something that's squarely on Didier Deschamps, because you have tried the same thing 2 years ago in the Euros semis. He beat you to it. Nations League, the same approach, he beat you to it. And that's why I was surprised that he didn't bother to change anything about that game plan in this game. But for Spain, and I do hope that we are able to learn lessons from it, because what we're seeing is the culmination of something they started a decade ago. And these countries have always taken their youth football serious. The lineup that we saw on Tuesday, 10 of them had been coached by De La Fuentes across different youth national teams. In fact, every single member of the squad, the current squad, that De La Fuentes has coached, this is either the third or the fourth time he's coaching them. So he must have coached them at under 19, under 21, or under 21, under 23, or under 19, under 21, and the national team. In case of Unai Simon, Rodri, Mikel Merino, and Oyarzabal, he's coached them at 5 different national teams. So he was first introduced in 2015 as the under-19 coach. That squad had Unai Simon, it had Rodri, it had Mikel Merino, and Mikel Oyarzabal. He won the European Championships with them. 4 years later, at the under-21 Euros, he added Fabian Ruiz, he added Dani Olmo to that group. He won the under-21 Euros with them. Then 2 years later, a few other players joined. So Eric Garcia was the player who joined after the first one. So Eric Garcia, Ferran Torres, Juan Fran, and all of those players are joined. In the 2021-22 version was where you started seeing the Lamine Yamal and co. So the goalkeeper, Unai Simon, by 2021, the fullbacks had joined. So the first 8 years or the first 6 years of Rodri, Unai Simon, Oyarzabal, and then Dani Olmo, they had played together. Then Pedro Porro, who scored the winning goal, has also played for him at under 21, under 23, and the national team, winning titles with both Cucurella, they say. So if you pick the starting lineup, the only player who has not played multiple tournaments, perhaps, in fact, will be Lamine Yamal, because he's the youngest to have joined, and then Aymeric Laporte, because he joined the national team later.
Yeah, quite late. He's French. So
but essentially, this is the manager who has been coaching them under 19, under 21, under 23 for the past decade. And then he got promoted in 2022 to the senior national team. And then he coached them to the Nations League, and he's won successes there. Like you said, that is how you build a national team. The successes clearly prove that the projects that they started at that time, they did it right. And it is what gives credibility to it. And I'll break down finally. The trajectory that the individual players have been on, the individual careers they have had, and how successful they have become, builds the recruitment process out and says, these people pick the right players. Because it cannot be by accident that for every generation, you are producing multiple players who are going on to become superstars and have made it. The brand of football that was sustainable across different levels also means whatever it is they were doing, they had the right concept and they got it right. The titles that they have won over the years bears it out. So ultimately, for every good football project, you are looking at player progression, the strength of the team and what it is able to accomplish style-wise, and also in terms of silverware. Because under 19, under 21 European champions for what? 4 different cycles, Nations League winners, and then European Cup winners. Now they are in the final of the World Cup. They've produced a Ballon d'Or winner in that cycle. In fact, that program, the coaching aspects of it was so good that it has also produced a World Cup winning coach. Did you know that in 2017, De La Fuentes he was an instructor for two of the courses. In fact, the first one was the evolution of football. The students who sat in his class were Xavi Hernandez, Xabi Alonso, Walter Pandiani, Raul, Victor Valdez, Lionel Scaloni. Now check what some of these coaches have gone on to accomplish. You cannot say it's a direct consequence of what Spain were doing at the time. Perhaps a byproduct. But it just goes to show you the quality of the brain who was handling the national team at that level. The lessons for us here in Ghana is that, you see how the kind of coaches we appoint for under 17 and under 20. The teams that we aspire to beat, the people that they are putting in charge of those teams are people who are technical instructors at the elite level, who are producing La Liga winners, Bundesliga winners, Copa del Rey, DFB Pokal, and the FIFA World Cup. On Sunday, De La Fuentes will be going up against his students in the World Cup final. So the lessons for us is that, apart from the bit about getting that youth development, the selection process, and making sense of the project and getting it right, the person you put in charge of that also matters. Because it's not just about the ideas that they can teach the kids, but if it is so good that they can impart that knowledge and create the next generation of elite coaches. Because it is not by accident that a lot of those students from that class are all top-level coaches today.
Yeah. A great bits of information there from Achu. Danny, the sham they beat him. Woto.
The guy vexed me.
What did the sham do?
Why are you looking at me like you don't know what the sham is? This is the way you ask your questions there.
The guy,
He said the guy vexed
he
you.
played the same way he had been playing the whole tournament, so you all were happy now. Charlie,
No.
that's what I'm asking you. You see, I don't know.
After the first 10 minutes, he should have made an adjustment because it wasn't working.
Right.
And there's an issue with it. See, the sham knows that you don't look. The thing is, you don't play the same way in every game because opposition differs.
Quality. Yeah.
And the quality of the Spanish team is the technical ability of their players. One, their intelligence. Two, and I'm talking about when they are on the ball. And number 3, they are off the ball movement. Spain are so good. And this is the thing about football learning. When you are learning the ball, understand that when you are corrected, you spend out of the 90 minutes as a player, you spend at least like a total of 2 minutes on the ball. So your off the ball movement means more than what you are doing.
If you are playing the 90.
It means more than what you are doing on the ball. And Spain understand that. So every movement is calculated. So you need to cater for some of these things. Let's go back to the Champions League semi-final. this season's or last season's
PSG
PSG Bayern. The pressing structure of PSG in that game, how they dealt with Bayern Munich as against what Bayern were doing. Deschamps is a very funny guy because the mere beginning of their pressing structure, asking Dembele and Mbappe to basically aggressively try and press Unai Simon and whichever centre back he was pressing with. First of all, it was problematic because, and not just the two of them, Olise. And you see, Olise was now in the middle of both Fabian Ruiz and Rodri, who are drop deep. And he will have to use his intelligence to see where the ball is going and try and press them. You know Rodri, you know Fabian Ruiz. Whichever centre back, if it's Laporte, most of the time it was Laporte, and Unai Simon. These are four very intelligent guys. So already on paper, you are outnumbered.
Yeah.
It's 4 against 3 because you are pressing their front or their back 4
with your front
with
3.
3.
Yeah.
And you are trying to be aggressive. Now, the extra mistake too was allowing either one of his 2 pivot players, be it Rabiot or Tchouaméni, or later in the second half, Manu Kone, to also advance. And sometimes that was a small adjustment he made, which I thought was extra foolishness because
I thought you were going to say it solved the problem a little bit.
It did not. And I'll get to that because asking one of your 2 pivots to leave that zone and enter the defensive third of your opposition to now try and pick up either Rodri or so now Olise will shift on Rodri, and then Tchouaméni or Manu Kone. Most of the time it was Manu Kone will try and push up on Fabian Ruiz. What is happening to the laterals? Because again, I spoke about technical quality intelligence. There will always be an outball to either Cuckoo or Pedro Porro. Now, what Spain were doing when there were not too many, or so in the beginning, Olise is not smart enough to press like that. So there was always a free man. They'll give it to Rodri, then Rodri will go. Or they'll turn Fabian Ruiz the free man, they'll go. So basically, in the offensive phase, France were just sacrificing bodies. And when Spain turned, there's free space for them to move. And you see, the thing about pressing is that once you miss one man and the man moves from that zone,
it's like a chain.
Now becomes a free man. And everywhere, every zone they are transferring into, to the mid zone, now into the offensive zone, there'll always be a free man. So if you don't get it right from the beginning, you are in trouble. That's why I say let's go back to the Champions League semi-final. Not just this season's Champions League final or last season, but last 2 seasons also. The difference between how PSG pressed Arsenal and the difference between how Barcelona were pressing Inter Milan. When they beat you, you have to quickly go back. Because the way Spain play, if Rodri distributes the ball or if the ball goes to Pedro Porro and he gives it, he's not staying there. He's going inside. Most often than not, he's inverting. He's going to midfield. Or he's going wide and Lamine Yamal is coming inside. So there's a constant movement. The players who are involved in the build-up from the back are progressing to the second stage and then to the third stage. So there are extra men that are piling on in each zone. So for France, I was shocked that they tried to go aggressive. Now let's even try. They did go aggressive. So what should they have done, in my opinion? If you're going to go aggressive, for me, your wingers in Dembele and what's his name? Bacolai, who started. The way Spain were pressing in goalkeeper, centre back, then the laterals in Pedro Porro and then Cuckoo. So that is 4 men from the start. Go direct on them. So spread it. Dembele shouldn't be pressing the box. Because I feel like Dembele, amongst the 4 of them, Dembele is the best presser of the ball. I will put him on Cuckoo. I will push Olise to press the centre-back Laporte. Mbappe on the goalkeeper. And then Bacolai on Pedro Porro. What you do is that you've essentially catered for their back 4. So Pau Kubasi, who has now come inside with Fabian Ruiz and Rodri dropping deep. If you are pressing well, you're already blocking passing lanes towards them. Then you can ask your Tchouaméni and this one to push forward and squeeze up. Because then even if Rodri or the ball gets to Rodri or Favourites, when they turn, these two are there to apply pressure. But that one-man Olise thing, it wasn't working. And then when you allow one of them to leave, so now this is what happened. When they left Manu Kone, let me use Manu Kone, to leave the double pivot and now join the press in Olise, thinking that they had squeezed up Fabian Ruiz and Oyarzabal joins the midfield. And now it's 3-on-1. So Tchouaméni is surrounded by 3 Spanish players. So what did Unai Simon start doing?
Going after the press. Going over the press.
Over the press. Because it's not if he can't find Rodri. There's free space in the midfield. All he has to do is to hit it in there. By all means, to get the ball. Because Olmo was there, Oyarzabal was there. And there's a third one who was in there.
Fabian
Ruiz would have pushed that. All what we were seeing were also
Baina
that
will come.
Baina will come in, or Kukureya will even
Also
invert. Pedro Porro will also invert. So at the point it was like 3-on-1, 5-on-2. It was complete outnumbering of the French players. And again, pressing is so important in the modern game because build-up play from the back is important. So if build-up plays from the back is important, how you counter it, which is the pressing, also becomes important. So if you are not able to deal with that press, especially against a team like Spain, because they hold the ball so well, once they pass your first line of press and they enter the midfield, that's another 5-7 minutes that you are not going to get the ball. You are going to spend it off the ball trying to get the ball off them. And how chaotic. So let's just go back to the Pedro Porro goal. And I did this on TV. Look, it's one of the most annoying things I wish I didn't run commentary on that game so that I can just get up and go and see. Because it's a complete waste of my time. In a World Cup semi-final, and when we get to the England match, we'll talk about it. You can't spend this long looking at something that was playing over and over and over again. And you have the squad and the bench with the different profiles that France have. And he couldn't change anything to counter it.
What should he have done?
Thank you very much. Your pressing structure is not working, so off the ball, you're already all over the place. So change it to what I will say. Change it to at least give yourself a chance to fight in the midfield, because what you have is athleticism and physical, physicality in the middle of the park. They are technical, but you can bully them. Because again, in this World Cup, some fouls are not fouls. So you can force it to be a physical battle. Yes, Rodri is big, but he's not stronger than Manu Kone. He can cover ground better than Manu Kone, than Tchouaméni. That's your strength. So force that physical battle in the middle of the pitch. Secondly, by the end of the first half, we could all tell that. You see, some players, if it's not going to work, it's not going to work. You can see it too. And you have too many players in the French team who have not earned untouchable status. Olise is one of them. He shouldn't be untouchable.
Maybe Dembele too.
In the French national team, he shouldn't be an untouchable. If any one of the front for Mbappe. But Dembele wasn't working. Olise was pathetic. It was a sad watch.
He lost more balls.
Almost every time he gets the ball, he's losing it. And again, it wasn't always under pressure. Sometimes you expect him to be able to pick the simple pass. Then he will try. What are the tenor? I don't know if you guys, if you see, I bet comment in the comment section. Ending of the first half, he gets on ball, be simple, and he tried to do some flick. You know the sit up. He tried to do some back heel flick, and it just went right to Rodri. I'm sorry, Rodri stood up.
Are you serious? This is a World Cup semi.
What are you doing?
Rodri would have wanted to give the ball back to you. That try again.
Charlie.
Because this one, you make the game some way.
What are you doing?
There was a moment
quick.
in the first half that he picked up a loose ball. Mbappe was about to make the run. All he had to do was play it around the defender. And then he plays it straight into Laporte.
Look, it was bad. Maybe he had color blindness or something. We couldn't see that. No, it's true. Maybe we couldn't see his players were wearing blue because it was bad. At that point, save the player for himself because not just that. Number two, look, the difference between Olise and Sheki is not plenty. Why Olise, if he hadn't met company, like what? He's had a damn good season. But Sheki also has had a very good season. And in terms of quality and what they can do, there's not much that Olise can do that Sheki can do.
After the World Cup and he's been unplayable. He's got 5 assists. Well, he's having a bad first half, but there's hope
Okay.
that if you're a manager, based on what you have seen him do several, there's almost
That he
hope
can turn it up.
that he can
Look.
turn because he's done that
He
for
can't
Bayern,
turn anything
he's done
around.
it for Bayern, he's done
He
it for the
can't
World
turn
Cup.
anything around. Olise in this World Cup, you know the way he has annoyed him. Olise should have had at least 5 goals in this World
Agreed.
Cup.
He's not.
He's one of the most wasteful
He's not
players
been
in the
clinical in
French
front of goal, to be honest,
team.
but he's
Wasteful
been clinical
team.
with passes.
But when you are at the World Cup, you can't afford to carry this wastefulness for this long.
when you have Mbappe,
Oh, when you are facing Sweden and Korea, that one
No,
you can keep him on. But when it's Spain, a team that already doesn't
I
concede
mean, it was a
chances,
game that was on counter. Mbappe could have gone on to score, but he waited for Olise so Olise could get a goal.
he gave it to
Played him on, and he had a
Still
very
he
terrible
missed.
touch, and then played the ball, and the goalkeeper saved.
Still he missed. Look, coach the call. We start.
Numo, where are you?
Where you dey?
Where are you?
You dey hear me?
The line is break.
Yo. If you dey hear me, we start. So if you come on. Me, I no dey hear. So again, that's the essence of building a squad and having a squad with this much quality, and not just quality, but difference in profile. Players who can come in and change the dynamics of what you are doing on the pitch. In offense, it wasn't working for Olise. This thing that you ask him to drop deep as he was doing the whole tournament, it clearly wasn't working in the Spain game because even when he dropped deep, they were still outnumbered. So then, fix it from the way you are pressing. So that even when the opposition has possession of the ball and they cross that boundary, you still have players in the middle of the park who can match, not just the numbers, but even if it's 2v1, they're athletic and physical enough to be able to quickly close down the spaces before the rest of the cavalry arrives. I was looking at the bench. Olise, get him out, quick. Get Olise out. There are 2 things I wanted him to do. Either one of 2. It's either you take Olise out and bring in N'Golo Kante.
We are not played to that point.
It doesn't matter. But he trains every day. He wasn't injured before he came. He's at the tournament because he can play.
So if you bring N'Golo Kante, you've got Manu Kone, Chama, and N'Golo Kante.
Kone is sitting N'Golo Kante, and then Tchouaméni, N'Golo Kante, and then Manu Kone. Before he matched them. This time around, you have runners who can follow Rodri and go wherever they are going. So you match them. Yes, you sacrifice your number 10, but there's creativity out wide. And both Manu Kone and N'Golo Kante have the ability to carry. They can pick the ball up, ride 2 or 3 tackles, and carry the ball into danger. And they can pick a pass. So they are decent enough to do that job. You don't need a number 10 to create. And especially because you are facing Spain. The thing is, you even create plenty.
And when you've got that 3 midfielders, he also gives a bit of license to Lucadinha, maybe.
Exactly.
Maybe
Theo Hernandez, who had come
Kunde or Hernandez when
to
they come
bump
on to
forward.
also go for, because there is some balance.
There's balance and there's some
protect
security,
them. Yeah, security
behind them. If he didn't do that, then remove Olise again, bring in either Mateta or Thuram, stick him up top, send Mbappe to the left-hand side, Dembele to the right-hand side. And then you have at least now there's a focal point. So that thing where France were trying to play out of trouble, it was problematic. So when you get the ball, you can hit it long, and then you have runners on the sides who can bring support, because Mateta, Thuram against Laporte, they will be able to hold their own. They are big and strong enough to be able to hold their own. And even the third rounds of Manu Kone or whoever who will be running past him. But the insistence is like the guy is a Ballon d'Or player, so he has to play. Dembele, nothing was working. When he took off Olise, he brought on Ryan Shaky with the same instruction that he was giving Olise.
So it wasn't the players, it was just maybe the instruction against how
No,
Spain
but
are
that
set
one
up.
Shaky self try pass Olise. Olise knew was double. The system didn't help me. He they
You know the sit up.
But when Shaky came, that chance he created for Mbappe, the one he carried like 2 or 3 days and slipped it through. Mbappe was about to take a shot and Kukurea. That was danger. At least when he picked up the ball, he could see the players who were wearing blue.
True.
And do something about it. Yes, still the system was problematic. But it is that, you see, there are some things in you just accept it and you work around it. You are not going to outpossess Spain. So it means you are going to spend majority of the time off the ball. So when they're on the ball, you need to be able to stop them doing what they want to do. And I just want to quickly touch on the intelligence of the Spanish national team and how they are moved. Everything's calculated. When you see somebody walking somewhere or shifting somewhere, it is all to create space for. It's all connected. So you look at the goal they scored, Pedro Porro, the goal that they scored. When they scored the goal, in fact, during the build-up, I was just watching Lamine Yamal. He made two movements. When the ball goes to Baena takes the shot, it's blocked. It comes back to Rodri. Rodri chips it in. It comes back to sends it to the right-hand side. Then Pedro Porro picks it up, plays a 1-2 with Dani Olmo. When Rodri takes the ball and gives it to Pedro Porro, Lamine Yamal is wide. He moves extra wide and starts walking. Starts walking towards his goal post. Yeah. What was he?
Creating space between Digne, the left back, and the left centre back at the time, Lacroix. Big space. Yeah.
Maxime Lacroix. That space was important because they had realized that, you see, that when you know your teammates, Pedro Porro picks up the ball. Lamine Yamal knows he wasn't coming to. But he needs to open, like the Red Sea. He needs to open the space for him so that he can attack it. So Lamine Yamal moves wide and towards his own post. So it completely eliminates Lucas Digne from it. To the point where even if Lucas Digne realized that was the plan, the space would have been too much for him. So Lamine Yamal has eliminated him by that movement. Number 2, Dani Olmo. Dani Olmo knew that this thing, it's not about touching the ball and trying to turn. It's a give and go. So he dragged himself on the edge of the box, took the center back, and his move, you see, everybody knows they play in Europe, they know their strengths, their weaknesses. So you know that you have to be tight on Olmo. Because if you leave him and he turns, trouble. So in Lacroix, I think, who was extremely tight on Dani Olmo.
No, I think that Upamecano was.
It was Upamecano
who was on Oyarzabal.
On the other side.
Yeah, no, on the first side. So it was Lucas Digne, Lacroix, Upamecano. So Upamecano was on Olmo and Lacroix was on Oyarzabal.
So the one who was on Dani Olmo was Upamecano.
Yes.
But you have to be tight on him because you give him a yard of space. He has the technical ability to turn tight space. He can easily dribble past you and create even more space. So I understand why Upamecano was tight. But by that time, the damage had already been done. Because that movement from Lamine Yamal has already opened up the space. So right now, you hope. All you can do is hope that your individuals do something. Either Upamecano being tight stops that pass to Pedro.
Or Due goes with Porro.
Or as for don't even mention that, guys.
Either Due or Manu Kone.
No, not Manu Kone.
Kone cannot vacate the central area. If he
Kone
that's an even bigger space.
Yes.
Kone is a defensive midfielder. The space where the trouble was starting to brew, he has to man that space. Mm-hmm. His man is within that space. Mm-hmm. Pedro Porro is a right fullback who is coming in.
Yes.
The winger is the one supposed to follow him. Wherever Pedro Porro goes within that space, you have to follow him because if anybody else follows him, there will be space created in their zone. You are coming from the wide area. So if whoever you are marking is Pedro Porro, wherever you run to, you are just helping anybody extra. But if Manu Kone follows him, and watch the sequence, if Manu Kone leaves that zone and follows Pedro Porro, and Pedro Porro cuts the ball back, that's trouble. Because he's left the edge of the box open. And if he followed him, it means everybody is going into the box. So as everybody is going into the box,
third
he
man
follows him.
Rodri, Fabian Ruiz.
That's trouble. So he has to continuously man that space with the hope that Due will be smart enough to follow his man. But Due leaves him. So as soon as Due leaves him, that space is there. It's open. And at the point, I was even looking at it again. Even if Due followed him, the space was too much.
He was going to commit a foul.
I agree, the space was too much. But the reason why I think either one of them, and I agree why Manu Kone wouldn't follow, but I still think he could have taken a bit more responsibility. But first, Due. The reason why I think if either of them had followed Pedro Porro, he might not even have scored was he has to take 2 touches before hitting the shot.
Yeah.
His first touch wasn't clean. His second touch is what settled him before the eventual goal. So I'm thinking
the second touch, you can put him off.
Yes, so the least pressure, and if somebody was giving him pressure, maybe the second touch as well is not as good.
Yeah.
Because the first touch wasn't as clean. Otherwise, you wouldn't have needed the second touch.
I get
so somebody must, sometimes, A similar thing happened. Rodri, Lamine Yamal to Olmo back to Fabian Ruiz.
Yeah.
The only
then
reason why he
Lamine
doesn't
Yamal
score
cuts
is
back.
because Upamecano gets around. Like, he doesn't make a
The
tackle.
only reason why he doesn't score is
Yeah.
Ruiz chose to
With
go
his
with his left foot,
If
not his right
Upamecano
foot.
is not there, even with the left foot,
He scores.
If
So-
with the right foot he's scoring,
no, I'm saying, agreed. But I'm saying even if Upamecano is not there, even with the left foot,
He
that would
scores.
have
went-
been danger. I get
so
it.
I just think if you're around the scene as a defender,
No, but you
it
see,
gives the attacker
I'm saying
an extra yard.
this-
But that,
this
but
scenario
that's a
you are
different
giving-
scenario because
yeah,
this
this
time
scenario
is
you
the
are
centre back
giving-
in his natural position.
exactly. But
Which one?
It's
I'm,
Upamecano.
I'm just talking about the
so you're
presence
talking
of a
about
player.
initiative. You're
I'm
talking about
just- the
initiative.
presence
yeah.
of a defender.
But I'm also
or a
saying that.
defending player.
I'm also saying that we are saying that Manu Kone follows him
Yeah.
with this in the scenario that Pedro Porro is the
Manu
one who
Kone will
ends
do
up
it.
taking the shot.
Yeah.
No, we are doing two different players.
Okay.
If Manu
So let's do
Kone
Manu Kone.
follows Pedro Porro, Porro doesn't need to shoot him because another space opens up.
So cut
And
back.
trust me, Spain they will see it.
No. So okay. Now in the sequence when the ball went to Pedro Porro,
Mhm.
we know Spain didn't have the options because Olmo was on the turf and Oyarzabal has stayed back, and
Mhm.
France had a lot of numbers. My point is, you can't always think about the next phase of play when the immediate danger is ahead of you.
Has no
If
concluded.
the game is in the middle of the park or is central, then you can think about what if I engage and the ball gets behind me. But as soon as the ball is in the box, your instant reaction should be curtailing the
Deal with
threats,
it.
deal with it, and others will fill in. For all you know, if he goes in, Due is on the edge of the box, he deals with what is there. But yeah, I agree that the first person to go to have followed through
Should have
was
been
as for that
Desiree
one, they
Due.
do it. But I'm thinking that sometimes that is a shortfall of attacking players. If I'm a midfielder, I'm a DM, and Due is marking
He
Pedro
will
Porro,
behave differently.
I will be thinking for Due that attack is the Omeji.
No,
if,
but-
if my
no.
teammates an attacker in my mind, attack is the Omeji, me judge moderation is that. You're
But-
saying,
yeah.
At this level, do you know the reason why I don't buy that thing?
no, I agree with
Because
you.
on the flip side,
Yeah.
look at the defense, the defensive work the Spanish players were doing, attacking players.
Yeah,
Look at how
those
deep
were far
Oyarzabal
removed
was
from the
dropping.
box.
Look
The
at how
Alex Baena
absolutely,
incidents
yes.
were
but they
always
will follow you. The
Yes.
point is, they will follow you.
We saw Lamine Yamal in
Yes,
Mbappe.
he was following.
Mbappe was scaring away from him, but I said, no, you won't go. You won't go. No,
That's
then-
the whole point. Because
But-
everybody plays a part in
Yeah.
defensive structure. If you leave it for somebody, then and you know
Yeah,
as
yeah,
annoying
I
me.
agree.
Do,
I agree.
do it, no, he
Due
will do
should
that
do
thing
it.
at PSG. That's what they vex me. Do it will not do that thing at PSG.
because
And I
if you
reach
try
a
to,
conclusion.
yeah,
I tell you already, that guy, me, I don't read him.
But,
It is Luis Enrique. He's the only reason why Due is a good player. Because Due, I've not seen him do anything proper in France. Hey, why did the head coach take off Bakola?
hey, Bakula was fast to play.
No, you are being biased. You are being
Bakola,
biased.
Masa, I didn't buy
Bakola, you are being
you
biased.
see that shots?
Bakula,
Of the four attacking
Bakula is
players,
the most frustrating player I've watched
Look.
in this World Cup.
no, it's a lie.
Who's the most frustrating
It's
player?
a lie.
Who's the most frustrating player?
Why Kamau didn't play the World Cup?
Oh, Kamadi there.
Well, is that Kamadi?
What's it?
Kamadi didn't surprise me. Oh.
Bakola, of the four attacking players,
Yeah.
Bakola was the only one who was able to pick the ball and still dribble past him.
As for that one, we know he can do it. After dribbling, what's
What's
next?
next?
What do you do? The minute what they do?
Bakola is
Only say, what do you do?
2.0. Me, KBB say Kamadi 2.0.
Oh, that guy will win Ballon d'Or.
No,
He
you
going
see,
Ballon d'Or.
my problem with France was, and I think, and I agree with what both of you have said. I don't even think France should have gone with the press as high as they did. It's a waste of time. When they
Yeah, like you didn't need that.
we saw what Portugal did and did well against Spain. Did really well against Spain. They don't engage in the high one, and Spain can be very patient and wait for the right moments. So the most important thing is your fullback should get a job done on the wingers. Then centrally
You
match
squeeze them.
match them with numbers, but begin to engage them mid-block. And we saw Spain do it. We saw Belgium even better,
Cape
do it
Verde.
even better. I think Cape Verde, everyone say they were very deep, BBB. So yeah,
But the same
But-
concept,
but
the same
concepts,
principles.
the same principles. Because once you begin to go high and press Spain, so they will easily evade you. And when they do, as you rightly explained, the space begin to open. Somebody has to feel in. He opens another space.
Yeah.
But the moment you are waiting in your own half, and you've got about what 9-10 bodies behind the ball in your half, not deep in your box, but in your half, they can pass the ball around and then wait for moments to happen. But you, France, the reason why Belgium did it and Portugal did it, and it would have worked better for France was
You've got the
you've
outlets.
got too many outlets for this system not to work for you. Like too many powerful outlets. You've got Mbappe, you've got Dembele, you've got Doué or Bakola, you've got Olise. And they've got good passes of the ball as well to set them up. So I didn't see why France needed to be high up and try to win the ball as high up in Spain's box. You won't win it. Because what went wrong for Portugal was when they won the ball, their out balls in Neto and Bruno Dems was terrible. But in the form in which Olise is, in the form in which Dembele and Obakola, you will gallop. And if it is Mbappe against Kubasi or Laporte against, there's an opportunity for you, right? Or worst case scenario, Spain decide that because they are afraid of the threat that you have in your out ball, then Pedro Porro and then what's the Kukurea should be more careful and shouldn't venture more high up the pitch, and that's to your advantage.
Yeah.
So you manage the game until, and look, between Spain and France, if you want individuals who can turn the game on its head, it's you, France.
Yeah.
So if there's a team that is waiting for a moment and doesn't need the whole team or system to create something, it's got to be you, France. But I just thought they brought it upon themselves the way they did, but taking nothing away from Spain. I thought they were brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
And what I liked about their attitude was
It was business.
it was, and you see, I saw our friend, our colleague, Oreku tweet that Spain were not playing necessarily operating at peak. And I disagree. I thought they were operating at the very peak.
Yeah.
But the mistake people make is they try to compare the Spanish team with the Euro Spanish team.
Yeah.
And the manager has been, this is why
He's changed.
when you talk about coaching, look, De La Fuente would have played the same way he played the Euros. But he came into the tournament with a half-fed Lamine Yamal.
No
Nico Williams. And those two were immensely important in the way.
Yeah.
So what he has done now is to alter something.
Charlie, Alex Baena.
No, but his job was important.
As for system,
His job was important.
As for
He's
system,
not
yeah.
But I remember at the Euros, Nico was wide, hugging the line. Lamine was much more closer, was narrower than Nico. He has inverted that. The difference is the quality of Lamine Yamal in the half space and the quality of Alex Baena in the half space. So Lamine Yamal now is closer to the line, and then Baena is rather narrow.
No, by Sean.
He's not Nico Williams.
No, but he did his job. So, look,
And he does his job.
Sichu, his main job on the day.
Charlie, what you put it talk?
His main job on the day, he did it.
Yes, what main job on the day?
He helps create overload more than Dani Olmo in this.
That was it.
He helps create overload.
That's his job.
How do you create an overload? Is it
Movement
not existing in that space?
Yes, movement and positioning.
Okay, so because he existed in that space.
You spoke about movement.
But it's the intelligence
Are
to know
you
when to
telling
join.
me? Are you telling me that any other player with the instruction he was given will not be there?
No, I don't think Ferran Torres can do it.
What are you talking about?
Oh, Ferran Torres is too.
Oh, you forget
Ferran
himself.
Torres-
When Ferran Torres came, what was he?
No, when he comes, they change the style. When he comes, they change the style.
When he came on, he was an outlet.
Ferran Torres came.
Oh, but
Differently. When he came,
Ah,
he
what
was
be the
not an
difference?
And when
outlet.
Ferran Torres started the game against this team, we saw him.
Against who?
Against Cabo Verde, we saw him.
But that's a different game. That's
No,
a team
that's-
that is sitting deep against you.
Absolutely.
That's
So
different.
I'm saying.
You are saying Baena is good because he created overloads. What are you saying?
I'm
But
saying
that was his job.
That's a
That
job.
That was his job.
Why
He
we
did
don't know
it.
about
He
Alex
does a
Baena?
job. You see, and that's the thing. That's the thing. He does a job. The manager. That's why.
That's important to the team.
Oh, as for the starting, he will start. He
But why would he start
only
like-
starts because Nico is not fit.
No,
and you know.
No, and he will also only start because since the manager started trusting him, he's been delivering.
No, he's the only other person who can play that.
Thank you. Now you admit that he's
Ferran Torres or 2026 Ferran Torres, he not be wide player.
No, but if he start on for day,
He not be fit matter. He not be wide player. I don't know if he do that.
so he can't. Yes.
He can do the job.
So in the end,
So
Baena
so
can
he
do
pay,
it.
he go fit do that.
So
job.
So Baena can do
He pay-
it.
it doesn't mean why he pay
Why he
do
can't
the job,
do
he's
it?
a good player. Alex Baena sharp pass. What did they tell
He
me?
do the
So for
job,
me,
Charlie.
and also for Spain, the return of what looks like fully fit Rodri is very scary.
Charlie, but we talk this thing.
Pep.
Ending of the season, the guy come back. Oh.
in the play ball.
The guy come back. Oh. Just say
I say if let me go back to last season. If Rodri played the last 10 games for City consistently without Arsenal go win the league as soon.
that injury way he hurt.
The quick one way
That
go.
I'm happy. with.
See, if Rodri play
No,
the
but-
last 10 games,
see.
like back-to-back 10 games for
See.
Arsenal go win the league.
As a Man United fan, Madrid for can't carry him away. Don't wait for next season.
Oh, I don't trust them so my eyes can't go with you.
No, I'm saying that Madrid for can't carry him away.
If Enzo Maresca being coach,
No,
he's
wait.
so feast.
Wait, the thing is that
I don't
he
rate
may not win the
Oh,
league for
Maracucci.
he may not win the league for City, but
He
in
go
the
worry.
game that matter, he may stop you from winning the league.
No,
That
but
the Yawa I don't want. No.
the guy is deep.
I don't want to deal with him. Make
The
Madrid
guy,
can
the
carry
guy, the
him
guy
away.
is correct.
You want to be solid guy.
But Pep said this. So Pep said
Tell by
this.
your player to be hard.
Pep said this in October.
Who? Fabian Ruiz.
Oh,
That guy be
Oh,
underrated.
oh,
Swear down.
oh,
That guy
oh.
is underrated.
I said Fabian Ruiz right now is Fabian Ruiz in Napoli,
No,
Fabian
Napoli.
Ruiz, Jorginho. Then Maron Hamsik.
I said Luis Enrique is a control freak. So he will take a lot of things out of you.
Hey.
The guy they play, man.
I tell you. And
You see, when people
see,
were
every tournament that way Pedri they play. One of the reasons I thought Spain
He's so
didn't have.
smart.
Yeah, I thought one of the reasons why Spain didn't have a great group stage game, even though they were winning and wasn't as smooth, they were efficient, was because Fabian was starting most of the games. And that one game that he started in the game against Portugal, it was
different.
and that is why the coach has stuck with it, because it is so clear. It's so clear. And I like Pedri and everything. They are two different players. But when you have Rodri in your team, you might not need Pedri. And when you've got Fabian Ruiz, he offers you something different. Like, it's just the sheer physicality he also brings in the game. Apart from the technical
For that
ability,
matchup.
Bobby. That's a player.
The guy they play, man.
Yeah. And kudos and massive shouts to Daniel Olmo, bro. The position the guy picks
So
up is crazy.
he is, if not for the injuries, I don't know who ball out. If not for the
La Masia
injuries,
product there. I know he was from La Masia,
He
didn't
be
work out, went to
proper.
Germany, and then he's come back to Barcelona.
it's
He's
the
super-
injuries that
the-
messes him up.
And look, I was watching some of the movements again. The discipline to repeat the actions of dropping into the channels when you are
It'd
not
be
getting
crazy.
the ball.
It'd be crazy.
But he makes
Charlie,
the movement every time.
Lami, you ran out be fanboy. Oh, Bob
Maybe right now he be fanboy.
You ran out be fanboy.
Right now?
I want to tell you.
Maybe fanboy says so.
Hey, or Bob stupid.
Lamin, I said we need to play place like Lamin so that we stop watching players like
Anthony.
wingers like Saka who are passing the ball back. I did tell you.
But it's true.
I did tell you.
What
See,
did
you
you
know
do?
why Saka they ball me?
What did you tell me?
2 years ago, last season, if Saka get ball, we defend for fear. Maybe because it's not at his fittest. But in the last couple of months, when I watch Saka get angry,
At this World Cup, when he was Saka, again.
what's he playing?
Saka come no injection.
No.
If Saka
he no be
come the
fit.
game
He no
inside.
be fit.
No, he's not fit, but I'm saying that
I
the
think that he be
instruction, if he
fitness.
come no,
Because, I mean, I
injection.
like Saka, but in the last season and a half, Saka and then those if you get ball in and Ben White, you can't have in and Ben White season. No.
But if you
Xhaka
don't- so
practice.
that's the thing. Those limitations
He
have
be
been there.
instruction, he be coaching.
Over the last 2 years, it has looked like he needs that kind of fullback to
Hey.
be himself.
That in and Ben White this season, you know, sometimes I partake am playing back.
Yeah.
That one,
Yeah.
Then Saka be my guy. Last season, you know, maybe the injury, but Lamine Yamal, if the guy the zoop ball,
You know what I like about him? He be too no.
Lamina
You know, say me I like too no.
arrogance,
Yeah.
Yeah.
positive arrogance. So don't be
The too no way you go talk.
He's
Talking
good and he
Yeah.
knows it.
yeah.
Fabon man.
And to be fair, of course, it's very young. So as the tournament starts, we know the scoring things. It gets to him small.
Charlie, the Portugal game, as Nuno mentioned, we seven come.
Yeah,
I go drink water.
he can just say he could come.
It's
I know
over.
say he hits no mensch.
Yeah.
He take him on some
Take
run.
away the guy straight.
Money you. Yeah, and I think and when you said this in the interview that he's young, he shouldn't worry too much about doing too much. He should just play because he's got the quality to
Yeah.
come. And I have a sense that in the Belgium game, in the
Portugal,
no, even the Portugal, I didn't think he had a good game in the Portugal game. But in the Belgium game
It's
and
okay.
in the
Austria.
in the Austria game and in this one,
France.
the France game, I thought he was brilliant. He wasn't forcing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wasn't forcing it. When he has to
Just
pass,
did,
he
yeah.
pass.
and I think
And when he has to make a movement for his teammate, like we described in the goal,
He'll
he
do
does it. He's
I
not a
think
prima donna.
yesterday was his most matured performance yet.
Yeah, it was brilliant. It was
Yeah.
brilliant.
In the sense that he knew. You see the performance against Inter Milan,
Yeah.
where he got too excited by how brilliant he had been and
Yeah.
took the ball forward when the team didn't need it. This time when there were many moments, especially after the penalty,
Yeah.
where I thought, okay, almost everyone thought he would try and kill Dean
Look at him,
for,
yeah.
but
wasn't
he would
possible.
read it and realize
Yeah.
maybe the angles are not right.
Yeah.
There's too much space behind him. Maybe he can catch me even if I dribble past him and all of that. And
Oh,
he
you
would
can't catch him.
always make the right decision. Sometimes you can beat him, but the options in the box simply don't exist for you. And those are the little things that
No,
you want him to be showing
he's
at this
amazing.
level.
Anyway, so that was France losing to Spain. So France now will play in the third and fourth game against the Three Lions. That takes us to the next game then.
Messi, 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 Messi,
Yo,
Messi.
you people for screen record this thing.
Messi,
You people for screen record this thing. Yo.
Messi, Messi, Messi. Hey,
Bro, let me read these quotes. Let me read these quotes.
Charlie.
Let me read these quotes.
Hey, oh, Bobo, fuck you.
Let me read these quotes. And look, and I'll tell you why I'm so happy for Messi and Argentina. I'll tell you why on the pod. But so this is the quotes from Messi, and this our friend Gary Alsmith posted. He says that a reporter asked Messi after the match against Egypt, you told us God had a plan for me. Do you think he has another plan for you? This Messi. I don't know, honestly. After everything we've been through, we can't ask for more than that. Just playing another final is an amazing thing. God is great, and he always has something else. But honestly, I can no longer ask God for more. I'm grateful for everything God has given me, whether in my sports career or my personal life. And as I always say, for the rest, it will be God's will. God knows. That was Lionel Messi in his post-match interview after the game, after they beat England by 2-1. Remember that England took the lead and Argentina came back. Messi assisting twice in that game to take or drag Argentina to the final yet again. Messi now has 4 assists in this World Cup. Has scored 8 times in this World Cup. He has scored 21 goals across all the World Cups and 6 World Cups that he's played. He's the all-time top goal scorer on 21 goals. Well, clearly Mbappe has got one more game in this tournament against England. Who used to say he doesn't break or equal that record? But Messi has got one big game against Spain. And who used to say that he doesn't maintain and even extend that record that he's got in the World Cup? What a player. And now let's talk about the game, shall we? The first half was everything we thought it should be. And I really enjoyed it. A game of no chances. Keepers are not making like, it was cagey. It was
an exciting
nervous.
chess match.
It was crazy. Like every 1 second a foul. It was just a proper World Cup semi-final fixture that both teams were not going to give it away. And when you listen to how the fans in the stadium were screaming their lungs out, and how in Argentina were belting out their anthem, I can imagine that John Mahama, the president, sees this and thinks that all the Black Stars players should be singing the anthem like that. It was something else. It was a sight to behold. Like Lionel Messi, after everything, at the sound of the Argentina anthem, he's belting it out like he's just made his debut for Argentina. Same for all those players who had won the World Cup before or were playing in this team. It's just amazing the way the game started. But what do we make of that first half in that game? We'll talk about it after the goal and everything, but that first half.
I think the referee did not manage the game the way he ought to have.
That's so. I thought he managed it well, because if he was going to give a card for that, then the game was on an edge of receiving a red card.
Look, I think when you come into, it's like officiating the Merseyside derby, or Man United Liverpool, or Man United Man City, derbies like that have a history of spilling over. If I'm the referee and I am coming into a game like that, and these referees, they prepare for games, watching tapes of the teams, watching tapes of the players, the way they behave, and they referee with that knowledge in mind. His assessors, one of the things they will be looking out for was his capacity to control and keep the temperature of the game and not allow the game to spiral out of control. Yesterday's game, the only reason that game did not spiral out of control was that England did not match Argentina's incessant fouls. Tell me how Simeone committed 6 fouls in the first half and didn't get a single booking.
It might not necessarily be a yellow card offense.
I'm saying that the sheer frequency of it, I'll punish you for it. Because these players are smart. They know what fouls they can get away with, and they know what fouls to put them in trouble. Yes, and I'm saying that if you are the referee, you know that this is the temperature of the history between these two sides, and that this is exactly what is going to happen. The moment the first second happens, I'm not going to wait and hope that the other team doesn't think of retaliating. You get because it is your job to manage the game. part of managing the game is to identify the potential hotspots and kill it before it masks the beauty of the game. And so I felt the moment we started seeing those fouls from Simeone, from Enzo Fernandez, Paredes, the referee should have kept them in check with a foul, a card or two. That levels the playing field. If you don't do that, what you are doing is that you are inviting the opposing team to also now start committing such silly fouls. You get the point I'm making. Then, what you were trying to avoid by not showing too many cards is exactly what happens. And if you look at the modern game, the game has spiraled to a point where, and we call it dark arts. So you also have to play nasty. I don't believe in that. I believe in playing fair. Let the referee do his job and punish what has to be punished. And I think it is the only reason yesterday's game did not spiral out of control. Having said that, I didn't think England handled that aspect of the game well. We were trying to play nice. Argentina are here to win by whatever means necessary. And this is in the DNA of Argentina. If you go back to all the previous games that they have beaten England, it has always been something nasty. It could be the hand of God. It could be Diego Simeone's provocation. That is them. And when, see, history doesn't remember those who complain.
I have a feeling that when Lano Scaloni started
his team talk,
Simeone in the game, Simeone is going to start in this game.
Yeah.
In this team.
That was the instruction.
No. That was it.
He hasn't started.
He wanted physicality. He wanted intensity.
I thought he really wanted England to get under the skin of the English because they would remember what Diego, Simeone's father, did with what Beckham, when Beckham was sent off.
Yeah.
And when Simeone was playing in this game, Diego Simeone's son was playing in this game. He was only trying to get under the skin of a lot of the English fans. So I'm thinking that Argentina only started Simeone thinking that he could give them just that, and he did a job for them.
He did his job.
Yeah.
And if you look at the nature of the fouls or even the tackles from Enzo Fernandez, they were on the gilt edge. They were on the knife's edge. There were a couple of fouls where if he slides or if his body takes him a few meters away from where he is, you are getting into dangerous territories. So in the first half, that was the first thing that I was looking out for. In terms of the football itself, both coaches would have liked it. In the sense that they didn't... In fact, the first 30 minutes, there were no shots.
Yeah.
The only shot on goal in the entire first half was the Enzo Fernandez shot over the bar. The one that he was screaming and asking for a corner kick. And the replay showed that it was not... That was it. But it was a very controlled game that was played around the center circle without either side. And I thought there were also too many mistakes owing to the raw emotion in that game. Because some of the passes that even England, who were trying to keep it cool, were hitting, often were either rushed or delayed, or they would pass the ball when there was a chance to dribble. Anthony Gordon, especially in the first half, there were a couple of moments where I thought he got isolated.
He doesn't know. He doesn't have any skill to dribble.
Yes.
His own is running. As for Gordon, that say one-on-one, no.
Yeah, but
that's
but
his game.
that is still in his locker to just push the ball past and try and put in a cross on that left side.
A massive limitation on any winger.
Yeah, but whenever he had it, very often pass sideways and goes. It was safe for England because it meant he was not taking risks. Who
would you say was the better side in that first half? Was it even?
It was even.
Yeah, perhaps. Now let's talk about
it was even because nobody created anything.
Yeah, and anyway, they were each cancelling each other out quite comfortably. So let's talk about the second half. So no, boys in Akulo, Akulo.
I want to see your character. I want to see your character. Where's that boy?
Which boy?
And I'm sorry I'm late, Charlie.
No, man, we've been at it. Do you have any problem with coach's sound? Coach, try. Let's try if you can hear coach. Right, coach Limley has joined us. Coach, we're just talking about we spoke about the France game. I'll give you an opportunity to touch on it. While we are on the English game, so I would like us to then focus on England and Argentina. And we're just talking about the second half now. Actually was on the floor. What do you make of the second half? England, they got the goal through Anthony Gordon, and then everything else happened.
They started the second half well.
Yeah.
Took a lead that you would say was just about deserved. And so Harry Kane picks up the ball deep in his area, hits it long for Morgan Rogers, gets cleared, half cleared. Rice pounces, Rogers again, crossing, Gordon scores. And they try to build on that. So for those who are watching on TV, at the time that Argentina had their first sight on goal through Simeone, Martin Tyler is still saying that Argentina are rattled, but Messi is not. And so Messi picks up the ball, plays that through ball, and then he cuts it out. But that description was perfect for the flow of the game at that point. England were in control, Argentina were rattled. Even though there were no creating chances, it looks like it was only a matter of time before the next chance was going to come. Then, 2 minutes after the Simeone incident, Tuchel decides to drop the defensive line by about 40 yards. Because if you look at that Messi pass to Simeone, the two English centre-backs were on the halfway line.
Was it Messi or Enzo?
Messi picked it up.
Messi
to Enzo, and then Enzo.
Simeone.
The two English
unless I don't remember it well.
But Messi started it.
Yeah, Messi started it,
yes. Yeah. The two English centre-backs were on the halfway line. So England were not under threats.
Mm-hmm.
And that pass itself was against the run of play. There was not a sequence that had played out repeatedly for you to say that is what he was responding to. So the decision to drop the defensive line by about 40 yards, it was inexplicable. And England got punished for that immediately. It just did not result in a goal. In dropping the defensive line, what England did was to concede control of the game and allow Argentina and invite them onto them and hand momentum to them. Now, there are a few things that as a coach you should never do, which is to allow or hand over momentum to your opponent, especially in a knockout game where there is no room for you to recover. So now you see Enzo Fernandez, you see Paredes being more ball dominant, pushing further up the pitch and occupying spaces that previously was being occupied by the English midfielders.
Especially McAllister, who never go anywhere near the box.
The first things that happened,
venturing into the box with freedom.
After he drops that defensive line, Scaloni makes that change, brings on Nico Gonzalez. The first thing that happens is that Messi pass to the back post. Gonzalez heads it.
Across, yeah.
Keeper saves it. Moments after that, another Messi cross. No, this time, the Paul cross to the back post.
No, for the Messi ball to Gonzalez was twice. One was offside.
No, not the offside. The one that was headed back
across.
And then John Stones.
Yes, and
thank
one
you.
was offside.
And the one was offside.
That was the second one.
Yeah. So there was two of that.
Then there was a cross to McAllister. Heads it, free header. It hits the post. This time the keeper is beaten, but it hits the post. That is 3 chances Argentina had created at the time, just after Tuchel had dropped the defensive line.
Not included the save.
No, so wait. After
Gonzalez was the first one
before the hydration break.
Okay, that's for the hydration.
Just before.
No, the first one was the Messi ball to him that he had across.
Yes.
Then the second one was the offside.
I'm saying the save
then just before.
Then before the hydration break, the save.
Yes.
Before McAllister hit the post.
Yes.
So that's what we're saying. The signs.
So that's 4 actually.
Yes, 4.
Now he decides that he's going to double down by making changes and throwing more defenders on it. And I was asking myself, you have dropped the defensive line. You're not doing anything to stop the momentum. You're not committing fouls.
You're not stopping crosses.
You're not blocking zone 13 and zone 14. So they are hitting shots from that side. In fact, McAllister had hit a shot that hits the opposite frame.
No, that's the one
on
that
the left side.
That's what led to the last.
Led to the last goal.
Enzo had struck a shot that before tipped over.
Yeah. And so I thought, okay, what is he trying to do here? Because it is very obvious to everyone watching that the decision to drop the defensive line has not worked. Now Argentina have, and here's the thing, Argentina were not playing anything attacking wise.
Mm.
They were not creating. They were not the entire before he dropped that defensive line. The only shot was from the first half. The Enzo over the bar.
No, there was also the shot from Julian Alvarez, the one pick for save, and the second one
Then the
went
second
into the
one went
side
inside
netting.
netting, yeah.
You remember?
No, that
That
was all
first-
after.
second half.
No, that was second half before.
As soon as the
England
second
scored.
half started.
As soon as before England scored.
Right.
Yeah.
But no real
But there were no real
sustained
threats.
periods
Yeah.
or even sustained in any manner. Then he decides that, okay, let me do this. And what was puzzling was that if you look at this tournament, it is a tournament that has punished exactly that kind of behavior.
Unless you are Ghana.
Senegal.
In the England game. Which they took, which they learned anyway, which they
Yeah.
copied. But they didn't get all that.
Yeah.
But you need Ajete for this.
Senegal.
I'm telling you.
Sergeant.
I'm telling you, if Ajete is in that game, that Lautaro boy,
He hurt it,
he crashes Lautaro, he crashed Lautaro's head, he crashed Lautaro's
And
head with
centered
the ball.
him.
And Ajete really dying.
Look, in this tournament, Senegal have been punished for it.
Yeah.
In fact, even Argentina are the one team that has punished teams the most.
Egypt,
For-
Cabo Verde,
Switzerland.
Switzerland.
For sitting deep and
Yeah.
handing control to them. Because when you do, the distance to goal is shorter for Messi.
They've got Arsenal. They've got
And you see, in the first half, they were managing Messi well. So the yellow card that Elliot Anderson,
Anderson got, yeah.
that is where you should foul him. Just around the center of the pitch, after the center circle.
Messi got nowhere near close to
Yes. So he
Yeah,
will
18 bucks.
he will still dribble 2 or 3 players. Maybe you foul him or nudge him, he will release the ball. But there is enough room to recover. But when Messi is hitting the passes from the edge of the penalty area, you are in trouble. When he's receiving it in that zone, how do you abandon the game plan that for 60? Those were the warning signs. Those were the warning signs. Not just because of what Argentina was doing and the warning signs, but also because, and I said it on TV the other day, both teams did not have the legs to execute any solid game plan for 90 minutes because of how their games had traveled in their previous rounds. England in that crazy altitude against Mexico, with 10 men, properly tested. Then immediately, 4 days after that, they go and play Norway 120 minutes. If I am the coach, whatever game plan you want these players to execute, especially for the final 20 minutes, you have to think about their capacity to execute it. Because defensive football requires a lot of focus and mental sharpness. If you are tired, the brain goes with it. Once the body becomes tired, the brain goes with it. Concentration levels also drop. So rounds that they would have been able to track 15 or 20 minutes earlier, they are no longer able to. So he was demanding from the players things that they could not execute. And fundamentally, the game plan itself was poor. I always say that if you are defending, the very essence of defending is that you are cutting out the scenarios that your opponents can hurt you.
Right.
And then you defend because you believe you have outlets where if you hit the ball, you can cause them some problems. The only threat England had in the entire, after that goal, was the counter break that Morgan Rogers had. The one that he had Bellingham to his left and then Harry Kane, and then he messed it up. Otherwise, it was like they handed.
So
I don't think Argentina won this game.
England completed only 21 passes after the Anthony Gordon goal. So after Anthony Gordon goal to the end of the game, England completed only 21.
And they had
And they had
12%.
12%
England also
of
ceded 88% possession to Argentina, keeping only 12%.
and considered 10 shots at goal.
in over 30 minutes, which is 36 minutes.
Yes.
Let me bring Danny. I've seen you on the board.
They said the sound.
Am I good? Me good. And you are sound and you on. I'm gonna look here. Okay. let me come to Danny. I've seen you go pick the tactical board.
Yeah.
What is there to show with the board?
No. I don't even want to talk about Tuchel. I want to talk about Scaloni and his quick thinking.
All right.
And I think, yes, one coach makes a mistake, but you need to
I don't want to
capitalize on it
capitalize on it. Yeah.
in order for
You might have to sit like that.
I mean, be cool.
You have
Be
to
cool now. You did see him.
so that we can get.
Yeah, Mike no dey block. So for me, it's a 72nd minute substitution. when he took off Anthony Gordon, England are in red. I've given Argentina line green.
Right.
So when he took off Anthony Gordon and he brought on Ezri Konsa and went back 5. So now he went a back 5. And it's not just the back 5. He went a back 5, but a very narrow and compact back 5. So England were almost like this. 5-3-2. So Bellingham, Kane, Rogers, Rice, Anderson, and then Declan Rice. So they were very deep, very compact, in fact, let me put it. Very compact, very deep. As soon as he did this, Argentina made a triple substitution. Rodrigo de Paul comes on. Montiel comes on for Molina. And then there's a third one.
Nico Gonzalez had come on earlier, but there was a
triple substitution.
Yeah, it brought
Otamendi for Lisandro
because there was a yellow card.
Yeah. So he brings on Rodrigo de Paul. I'll put him number 7. Sends Montiel here. Puts Rodrigo de Paul around this area. Retreats Messi. So there's Alvarez in the box. There's the guy who had come on. Nico Gonzalez was now playing in the box, trying to match the numbers in here. Then he puts Enzo in and around the D.
Yeah.
Just to be in around the D. And then they went, this was Romero, Otamendi, and then Tagliafico.
Yeah.
So for 10 minutes.
I think this will be McAllister.
So McAllister was in and around here also. So the guys manning outside the box were Enzo Fernandez, Messi, and then, let me see, Montiel. Rodrigo de Paul. But Montiel had hacked the touchline, stretching play. Now, this is first move. What this move does, because Tuchel was playing a very narrow back 5, Argentina were able to man the wide wings. Montiel in this position, Rodrigo de Paul in this position. Most often than not, when they picked up the ball, because of how compact England were, they were players were not close enough to quick. If you are not able to stop the cross and the cross is good enough, it will find its man in the box. So that was the mistake that Thomas Tuchel made. But that's a quick thinking by Scaloni, because immediately he made a Konsa substitution. Then he made this move. Then he made another move 10 minutes later. He sacrifices Tagliafico and now puts in
the great Lautaro Martinez.
The great Lautaro Martinez.
Lautaro the great. I say, boss. That's Lautaro's colleague. I almost cried. One break, Papa.
Charlie?
Lautaro at the World Cup.
No, after this, we'll not tolerate any Lautaro slander.
If Lautaro when they go tournament, no World Cup, Copa and everything. The last Copa we fire, we go score goal for final. They play up. Wait, he never score World Cup goal before Lautaro. They taste the boy fight.
I never score World Cup goal.
Until this tournament, you can't score the penalty.
Really?
You don't see his celebration after he scored the penalty. He do this. He wash away the curse of not scoring the World Cup. Where he bang another one against.
He scored a penalty in 2022.
That one was shootout.
Yeah.
So he's not scoring, and he doesn't have a World Cup goal. So, from opening play. Then France, he made some bad header in the final. Messi crossed the ball away.
After Colomani.
So they disarm.
Colomani.
Working Lautaro. Charlie, go to you.
Scaloni takes off Tagliafico, the left back, and brings in King Lautaro.
I love that lead.
Now, this is the move that won the game for them. Because of England's lack of outlets, he didn't need an extra body in defense.
No.
So he sacrifices Tagliafico and puts in an extra body in attack. Now, even before this change, what was happening was England they were not marking the box. They were marking the 6-yard box.
True.
So they were this deep. This deep. And all the area around the 18 was being manned
was naked.
So Alvarez, McAllister around here, and then Nico Gonzalez. But McAllister is in and around this area. Lionel Messi. Messi, McAllister, Enzo, Messi, Rodrigo de Paul, Montiel. So ball no bar. These two, they can do nothing to stop the movement of the ball. It comes either Rodrigo de Paul.
And they themselves even started coming here.
They themselves, thank you. And here they were, Charlie, the box was something like this.
Box not
Shit.
So there's no outlet here.
Yeah.
So if there's no outlet in your Scaloni, you are chasing a game. What do you have to do? You don't need this person.
True.
So it's a party in the box. He added
another one,
Lautaro Martinez in there. and then takes off Tagliafico. Then now these guys pushed forward. Now this is what was happening. At a point, Rodrigo de Paul also moved into the box, and then
Messi went wide.
out. Coach, maybe I'm a fool. Maybe the football that we all watch. Maybe the football we all watch. Maybe my eyes, I don't see it.
You don't see well.
But I quite recall that for at least 20 years of me watching Lionel Messi, if you do this is Messi. Let the camera see. If you do this against Messi, still you find a way.
Yes, I know crampo.
But
That
then,
one's safe.
That one's safe. Thomas Tuchel decided to do this against Messi and leave this entire area
Messi
for
to
him
do
to operate.
crossing exercise.
That is
She side out.
that one. I don't even want to call it a mistake. Number 2, McAllister. Does he play in Israel? McAllister. It's not Premier League he plays.
Yeah,
in.
Premier League quality.
Oh, so they know him.
Oh, too well.
Oh, so they know McAllister can shoot. Receiving the ball on the edge of the box under no pressure whatsoever. Enzo Fernandez. He plays in Spain.
Enzo the franchise Fernandez.
He plays in Spain.
He wanted to. He loves Real Madrid. He loves the city.
Then
I
maybe
think that's
where
what
the